Hey friends, welcome back to another stitch tutorial, and today we'll learn how to crochet the bean stitch. So we've done how to crochet the mini bean stitch before, and today we're going to do the bean version of it. And this is a very textured pattern, so if you're looking for dense or warm stitch patterns, then this is the perfect pattern for you. So for the materials, I'm going to use a 5.0mm crochet hook with a 8-ply milk cotton yarn, but you can use the yarn that you have around with the recommended hook size. Check on the label of that yarn. So to begin, you're going to make a slip knot. So wrap the yarn around your finger, and then inside that loop that you've just created, grab the long end of the yarn, pull it through that loop. Then with your 5mm crochet hook, you're going to chain any even number of chains. So I'm going to chain 18, then I'll meet you in row 1. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Go ahead, and when you have your desired number of chains, or 18 chains, we'll meet in row 1. So I've finished my 18 chains, and for row 1 you're going to skip the very first chain. Remember, the loop on your hook does not count as a chain, so the next chain you're going to skip that one, and then in this second chain you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. You'll have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. Go in the next chain, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through that chain, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. So that's your second single crochet, and you're going to repeat this, working 1 single crochet in each chain until the end of row 1. So at the end of row 1, if you had 18 chains for your foundation chain, you should have 17 single crochets because we skipped 1 chain here at the beginning. So you're going to chain 1 for row 2 and turn your work, and then we're going to start by working 1 single crochet in the very first stitch. So going through both these 2 loops at the top, going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. So that's your first single crochet stitch. Then in the next stitch you're going to skip it, and the third stitch we're going to work our first bean stitch. So insert your hook in that, skip the next stitch, and then in the next you're going to insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. You should have 2 loops, yarn over, insert your hook in the same stitch, yarn over, pull through. You'll have 4 loops, then yarn over, go back in the same stitch, yarn over, pull through. You should have 6 loops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you're going to yarn over, pull through all the 6 loops, then chain 1 to close that stitch. Skip the next stitch, and in the next stitch you're going to work another bean stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over, go back in the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, and do this 1 more time. So yarn over, go back, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through. You should have 6 loops in total. Yarn over and pull through all the 6 loops, then chain 1 to close that stitch. So you already have 2 bean stitches, and you're going to repeat this, working 1 bean stitch after every 1 stitch. So skip the next stitch, work a mini bean in the next, chain 1, skip the next bean in the next, chain 1, skip the next bean in the next, chain 1. So you're going to repeat that pattern, skipping the next stitch, bean in the next stitch, then chain 1, skip the next stitch, bean in the next stitch, chain 1, until you have the last 2 stitches remaining. After working all the way until you have only 2 stitches remaining, you're going to skip the next stitch here, and then in the very last stitch you're going to insert your hook and finish it with a single crochet. So yarn over, pull through, you'll have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops, then chain 1 and turn your work. So row 2 will be our repeat row. This is the only one row repeat pattern. So you'll see what I do in row 2, and then you can go ahead until you finish your project. So for this row, you're going to start with a single crochet in the first single crochet stitch. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops, and then we're going to work in the spaces on the previous row bean stitches. So remember, we had a chain 1. We're not working in the chain 1 spaces. This is also another chain 1 space. We won't work there, but we'll work on this space in the bean stitch. So these are the spaces we're going to work in. So go in that space on the very first bean stitch, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, then yarn over, go in the same stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go in the same stitch, yarn over, pull through. When you have 6 loops, you're going to yarn over, pull through all the 6 loops, then chain 1. So that's your first bean stitch in row 2. Go in the next space on the next bean stitch or the second bean stitch and work another bean stitch. And if I pull through 6 loops, then chain 1. Go in the next bean stitch and do the same. Always chain 1 after pulling through all the 6 loops. Chain 1. When you have 6 loops, yarn over, pull through all the 6 loops, then chain 1. So this is what you're going to do. Do it until you work in the last bean stitch. So after you've worked your last bean stitch on this space, we'll finish off the row together. Always remember to chain 1 after every bean stitch. So after working your last bean stitch, you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to single crochet in the very last single crochet stitch. So insert your hook in that last stitch, yarn over, pull through, then work your last single crochet, then chain 1, turn your work, start your row with a single crochet in the very first single crochet stitch, then working in the previous row bean stitches, which are these spaces, not the chain 1 spaces. We're going to work our bean stitches in those. So go in the first space and work your bean stitch, chain 1, go in the next bean stitch, that space, and work your next bean. Go in the next bean stitch, locate that space, and work your next bean stitch. So you're also going to repeat that all the way, working your bean stitches in these spaces until you finish your last bean stitch. Then we'll finish off the row with a single crochet stitch. I went ahead and finished my bean stitches, and remember, after the last bean stitch, always chain 1, then finish your row with a single crochet in the last single crochet stitch. Chain 1, turn your work, and so from the next row, row 4, all the way until you finish your project, you're going to repeat the row 3 pattern. Skip the chain spaces and work in these spaces on the previous row bean stitches. Those are the only places you're going to work our bean stitches. So continue with that until you finish your project. I'll continue, add more rows, then I'll show you how it looks like. So I went ahead and finished 15 rows in total, and 14 rows of the bean stitch, and this is how my work looks like so far. I really love this stitch. It looks pretty, it's very textured, it's very warm, and you can use it for blankets. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the tutorial, please make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and give it a thumbs up so that it can be recommended to others. Share it with your friends, and until next time, please stay safe. God bless you, and bye.